Hi students, in this video we will discuss about metals and non-metals. It is one of the lesson in your 8th class physical science textbook. Actually in previous class, that means in your 7th class, you learned about natural fibers, and in 8th class also previous video we discussed about synthetic fibers. So those types we discussed, and you know about soil and its properties also in your previous class. Not only that, you learned about acids, bases and salts. These are some shortly about those also in your 7th class. So in this 8th class we can discuss about metals and non-metals. So what are the properties these metals are having? What are the properties those non-metals are having? How we can derive, on which base we derived metals and non-metals, those we can learn in this lesson. So first, how we can say it is metal and how we can say it is non-metal. And if your friends, not only friends, you in your daily life you are seeing so many metals like aluminium, iron, gold, silver. All these are called metals. On which base we are calling those are metals. So we can derive these metals and non-metals based on physical properties. So here one physical property. Physical property here, one is physical state, means by observing. So metals, if metals, most metals remain solid. Most metals remain solid. That means maximum metals are in solid nature at room temperature. Most metals remain solid at room temperature except mercury and gallium, which is remain liquid at room temperature. Means here almost all metals available in solid state. But here if you see here, mercury and gallium, these are metals, but these are available in liquid state. So you understood, metals means not only in the solid state, some metals those are available in liquid state also. So gallium actually it was in a solid state, but when we heated, it's converted into liquid. So metals maximum it was in solid state except mercury and gallium. And non-metals, most non-metals exist in 2 of 3 states. What are the 3 states? Solid, liquid, gas. So in these 3 states, only 2 states it will exist. Which one? Non-metals of matter at room temperature, gases and solid. What are the 2 states? Gases and solids. That means non-metals it will be existed in gases and solid. For gases non-metal, I gave one example, that is oxygen. For solid non-metal, I gave one example, that is carbon. So this is about physical state. Based on the physical state, we can say which is metal and which is non-metal. Another property, that is conductivity. So previously we discussed about physical state. That means solid or liquid or gas, metals and non-metals. That we discussed. Now we will see conductivity, how it will be in metals and non-metals. Conductivity means electricity, which is conducting electricity and which is not conducting electricity. So metals such as iron and copper are good conductors of heat of electricity. That means metals those are having conductivity in nature. They can produce electricity. Non-metals such as coal and sulfur are poor conductors of heat and electricity. That means non-metals maybe they does not have conductivity property. If they have conductivity, very poor conductivity these are having, like coal and sulfur. These are poor conductors of heat. And another exception is also there. Graphite actually it is a non-metal. Graphite actually it is a non-metal, but it is an exception as it is a good conductor. Actually what I told, all metals are good conductors and all non-metals are poor conductors, but here exceptional case is there. Graphite actually it is non-metal, but it is a good conductor. And another one, Ductility. Ductility means what is the meaning of ductility? Drawn into wires. So which we can draw into wires, which we cannot draw into wires. Those also based on that, those also we can derive metals and non-metals. Metals are having ductility nature. That means we can convert that metals into wires. So metals we can convert into wires because these are having ductility nature, like copper, aluminium. These we can convert into wires. So these are having ductility nature. And non-metals. Non-metals are brittle. That means they will break down. They will break down easily. So we can break easily non-metals. Non-metals are having brittle and hence they cannot be drawn into wires. So no, metals we can draw into wires. So these are having ductility nature. Non-metals we can't drawn into wires because this does not have ductility nature. See now another physical property, that is hardness. Everyone knows the meaning of hardness, means very strong. So hardness. All metals are hard, means all metals are very hard. But here also some exceptions are there. Sodium and potassium are soft and can be cut with a knife. Actually all metals are hard, but here some exceptions. Sodium and potassium, these are metals, but these are having soft nature and we can be cut with knife easily. Very important questions in the examination. Maximum thoroughly they will ask which metals we can cut easily with knife. Sodium and potassium, these are metals, but these are having soft nature. But all metals are maximum in hardness. And non-metals, most non-metals are soft. So maximum non-metals are soft. Most non-metals are soft. But here also some exceptions are there. Diamonds. So diamonds comes into non-metals, but diamonds are very hard. So here also some exceptions also there. So here metals are hard and non-metals are soft. Now we see another physical property, that is luster. Luster means shining. Luster means shining. So metals such as gold, silver and copper, these are having lustrous nature. That means those are having shining property and they reflect light from their surface. So when the light passed on their surface as gold, silver and copper, they reflect light. So these are having, metals are having lustrous nature. And now we see non-metals. Non-metals such as coal are generally dull and do not reflect light. That means non-metals, they does not have lustrous nature. Those are dull. What is the example for non-metal? Coal. Now see another physical property, that is malleability. Malleability means beaten into sheets. So malleability means the property which we can convert into sheets, that is called malleability. So which one shows malleability nature, which one does not show the malleability nature, that we see now. So first, metals such as silver and aluminium are malleable. That means these are having malleability nature. Metals shows malleability nature. They can be beaten into sheets. So metals we can beaten into sheets. So these are having malleability nature. So many times in the examinations times these are asking, define about malleability. So what is malleability? The property which we can beaten into sheets is called malleability. Metals are showing malleability nature and non-metals break easily. They cannot be beaten into sheets. So non-metals does not have the malleability nature. It will break easily, the non-metals. And next physical property, sonorous. Sonorous means sound. They will ask this question also. Define a word sonorous. The property which shows sound, that is called sonorous. Here metals produce a ringing sound. Metals produce a ringing sound. That means metals are having sonorous nature. In here also exception is there. What is that? Mercury. Mercury does not show the sonorous. Can anyone guess why the mercury does not show the sonorous property? I already discussed it. Because mercury is in liquid state. That's why it does not show the sonorous property. And next, non-metals are non-sonorous. That means they does not make any sound. They does not produce any sound. That's why non-metals are not showing sonorous and metals are producing sonorous. Based on that we can derive metals and non-metals. I give here some examples for metals and non-metals. Iron, copper, aluminium, calcium, magnesium. These are the examples for metals. And here sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus. These are the examples for non-metals.
Okay.
This aluminium, calcium and sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, these are new words for you. You did not found anywhere. But before seeing this video, before learning this video, you should see once periodic table up to 30 elements. In the up to 30 elements, you can found these words sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus. So just read once the periodic table before learning this lesson. And these are the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Based on these physical properties, we can derive metals and non-metals. In my next video, we can discuss about chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thank you.